Greetings. Welcome to Channel 6. I'm your host. This is live stream hiking. Not going to happen too often, so if you're watching, enjoy it. I am going to switch around to camera view. I've got to set up the rig I have here. It's kind of a MacGyver GoPro, and I have to hook this up. I've got it set up in the streaming software. I think you can actually take the screen dark. You can't with the camera, I know. And I've lost the rig in my hair. It happens like that some days. I got my trusty walking stick ready. Okay. The nice thing about streaming is the Bluetooth mic can actually be used. And then I'm not trying to catch the camera mic. I tried this out filming, and it looked pretty good while I'm going uphill or downhill. Not so good going uphill because it tends to point at the ground, but squish it a little bit. My stick. This is a path I go on all the time because of my entry. You can see all this white all out through here. It's blackberry. And in years past, the last 4 years, I haven't seen this much blackberry blossoms. Now, that doesn't mean there's going to be berries. One of the decisions I made even about filming hikes is just to be quiet, hike, and let you experience nature. But I got a couple of annotations I do every time I hike. Ooh, this, I don't know what comes in the camera. This is a new raspberry. I don't want to mess with it too much. They bruise easily. There's a patch hidden in this right here. See, the blackberry, you can see all that. It's white. And I'm going to check my thing and make sure I can see it. It's straining. But you can see all that white. But right in here, let's take a look at some. And again, I thought I was filming. I thought I was pointing at something, and I wasn't. It's trying to catch one of the cats or something. But let's go over here. See, hopefully I can, not that one. This right here, these are raspberry pods. They're little raspberries. And I'm looking for one. I'm hoping I get it into the camera. Right there, those are raspberries. The flowers are already done here. In another 10 days, that ought to be right. Those are green. And they're some of the flowers are there. They don't just show up like all that white. They kind of hide. But what I do is I come out here and in the wintertime I spot all this stuff. I really like the effect of the sunlight coming into the trees this late in the afternoon. So enjoy the hike. I'm going to walk. I'm probably going to do this until my data runs out. Let me check. Yep, I got data transmission. I set it down to 480p when I did the gardening, so I'm going to download it off Twitch and see what it's like. There is just so much white. Now, some of the white is wild rosebush. It's a certain kind of thing. They look exactly like that. They don't look like roses, except they got a yellow center. And they don't give you any edible fruit. But there's so much white out here. It amazes me. Of course, this year I'll actually have an opportunity to pick blackberry because the theater's still closed. I don't know when they're opening. They have all kind of plans. I'm sure the guy will call me. Oh, a big bee. That's what I was trying to look at. There's a big bee right there. Big bee there. I hope it's pointed at me. He's hiding down in there. But bee cam. So let's hike. If you just tuned in, This is Channel 6. I'm your host, and we're hiking. A live stream hike. This isn't in the thick part. I have about 1.6 gig of data. I want to see how long it lasts at 480p. That'll tell me how long I can stream berry picking. Because I got another 2 gig of data next month. This big tree is one of my favorite stopping spots. I like to stop and just stand here, listen to nature and relax, meditate a little bit. Let's just sit here and meditate with me. Whether you're watching the stream or watching the video. I certainly feel more relaxed. Got about 10 minutes of sunlight left. It'll still be light. I wonder if you just saw the yellow bird, little, not a canary. It's a little songbird. It flew across. It's out there chirping. Let's continue our hike. I don't know if I'm going to get a notification when it cuts out, and I don't have any easy way to check the chat or the data right now. But I'm going to walk back here, and I might undo the rig partially to check. It's so beautiful here. One thing about all that blackberry, there's no way to get to 95% of it. But then I only need access to a little bit to pick. If I can, I'll see if I can spot some of the wild rose bush in bloom. I'd come across some, but I don't remember where it's at because it grows in the trail good enough. Oh yeah, I cleared the blackberry off my trail here. I don't have a tunnel anymore. Can just walk through. And there's still a little bit in the way. Oh wait, this is a piece I cut out. Get rid of that. This trail has changed a good bit. It had a bigger hump, and it was up the hill a little bit further, but the raspberry grew downhill, so I navigate around the raspberry. I let it grow, and I move my path because I like the raspberry. The rest of the stuff I keep the path. Oh, the deer are still using this trail. That's nice. I might put the trail back that way. I found a little hole over here. It's interesting what trails they keep on, because they use my trails. But they keep some of the old trails and go through where I can't go. I was just through here the other day, so I know it's clear. I got a little patch up here I discovered after the 2017 picking season. I picked it in 18 and 19. There's some in there to pick. A little trail going up that way. I discovered a patch in here. If you don't pick berries, it don't look like much either. It looks like a bunch of weeds. But they're here. They're up in here. Here's all their little berry pods. I didn't bring my glasses, so. Yeah, they're green. There's a little flower right there still. There's still some flowers left for the bees to pollinate. I'm going to have to make some access to some of this. I can get into right here, but it's gone up the hill. This was a really thick hump of some vine. I don't know if it's coming back, but there's some berries up the hill there. It's good to go on the paths right now, especially around the patches, so I make sure I have picking trails, picking places to walk. Because one of the things I don't want to do is step on the new raspberries coming up. Now, once this stuff gets thick, right now, like you can see it, this is one of the new raspberries. Once this stuff gets thick, it can be hard to see. I'm not quite there. I'm up the hill from that, but up here, there's a bunch up here I can come up and pick. Although, once the berries hit the peak, I'll mostly go to the big patches because it's not really worth it going to the small patches. You don't get as much. It's a equation of picking 2 or 3 containers an hour versus 3/4 of a container. And when you want to come out and pick 10 containers, you want to try to get at least 2 an hour, 2.5. When you spend that kind of time picking, you really want the reward to be decent. This is spring in full swing. About 5 weeks ago, there was hardly anything out here. It was just starting to grow. The middle of April, it's just started, and everything's like, this wasn't here. The big stuff, this maple tree right here, but all this stuff, it was down on the ground. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. We've got a moon up in the sky. I'm not sure if I'm pointing the camera at it. I got a patch down the hill here that's pretty sizable. We'll glance in on it over here. I got another entry. See, it's good to go on these trails because this stuff will get thick and it'll be hard to go through here. When it's time to pick berries, I just want to crank along to the patch. There's a sizable patch down here. We'll go down and take a look. This area has been changing a lot. Over here, blackberry, there was a huge, thick wall of it. And last winter just took it all down. It'll come back, though. Couple of years, it'll be a huge wall. Here's the wild rosebush flowers. Little white doohickeys. Yeah, that's the rosebush. And then this is the blackberry. So you can kind of compare the rosebush to the blackberry. They look very similar. And the bees don't care. They'll pollinate both. And then over here, we have a really sizable raspberry patch that's being clobbered by a wild rosebush that I thought I had pretty much nibbled down, but I see more wild rosebush than I see raspberry patch. And that just grew because there was nothing there. So I'm going to have to come out here with my nippers and try to sneak in there and get the root again and pull as much of that out, because you can't pick through this stuff. It's living barbed wire. So that's on the project list over the next 2 weeks. I got to clear some stuff out of another patch. But underneath of all that, there's a nice raspberry patch right here. Because you can see the white flowers. Those are the rosebush. There's no blackberry in this. So I'm going to have to come out and clear that. There's another path over to the right. This fell down. I have a path through here, but I'm going to have to get this. This stuff will grab you. This is living barbed wire. Even when it's dead like this, it'll get you. I suppose I could sneak through there. This is elderberry. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's elderberry. I see the little elderberry pods coming out. Yeah, the stuff's growing fiercely. First, 2015, I came through here. Those berry patches weren't visible. And this was a lot of pokeweeds and just regular this stuff here. Not this big, thick, heavy blackberry just grew up and clobbered the area. It can change pretty quickly because up the hill, this was a solid wall of blackberry. There's just a couple pieces. It was like a tunnel going through here, going out this way on both sides. And that just died out. It looks like the sumac trees are dying out too. There's one right there that's completely dead. Vines will hold the stuff up with the other trees for a while, but they'll eventually fall. Now the locust trees and the oaks and such, they'll be there for a long while. But the sumac trees don't seem to last as long. Something stole my hat. It was this stuff. Grabbed my hat. Now we're getting over into the thick area. This is like the old woods that was here 30 years ago, these tall trees. Camera view is going to get a little bit darker. We get over there and I'm going to see if I lose the mic if I check my data. But I'll know that I'm still streaming. It's peaceful back here. There's some wild rose bushes coming up. Usually when I see wild rosebush, there's some raspberries nearby. Yep, I'm still streaming. I think it'll drop out. You might think it's still flying. I got a little break area up the hill here. I think we'll go up there and I'll take the rig off and let the mic go for a little bit and see how much data I've used up. I should be able to get an idea. Well, that's sunset. Oh no, there's about 10 minutes left. maybe 15. It's just not coming through where it's thick. Sometimes in the fall or now, there's a particular view that just looks striking. The sunlight comes in a certain way and hits the leaves. And these leaves are the new spring leaves. So in the summertime, they get a darker quality green. But in the spring, they have almost a yellowish green and has a really striking look to it. And it's especially nice just having come out of it, like we're like a month out of basically winter. Because March is still winter. Spring starts on March 22nd, but March 22nd to April 22nd, still cold weather. And then at the end of April, it starts to warm up, and it warms up through May. And we actually had some cold in the middle of May. I mean, it was down 35, 36 degrees. That's late February temperatures. That's winter temperatures. And then it jumped up to summer level, and it was really nice for a week. I think it's going back up. But it's just nice to have the green and warm back and be able to hike without putting heavy clothes on, hiking jeans and a t-shirt. This little tree right here, there was a season of berry picking. 2 seasons, I think 2017 and 2018. I would come down from across the top of the hill out that path. There's a path up here. And I would stop there and go down to the patch we just looked at. Yeah, right in here where the sunlight's shining in. I really like the way that looks. I don't know how much of that you get to see, but the way it's shining into that, I like that. It's a lot more peaceful here. I got to be itching. One nice thing about a walking stick is I can scratch my back with it. You got to be careful doing this, depending on what you've had your stick pushed through. But this is a brand new walking stick. It just came out of a tree. It's fresh. There's still traffic noises, but it's pretty peaceful back here. I got a little seat up here. A little tree grew a funny way, and I use it as a chair. Right over here, this little seat-looking thing. Look how this thing grows. The camera's pointed at it. This thing. This is my seat. I got a place for my stick right there. That's where my stick goes. That tree holds room. Now, I'm going to see if I can take a look at my data usage. See what it looks like. Let me put the camera down there. Wait a minute. I'm live still. It looks like 24 minutes. It's pretty respectable. The mic's going to disconnect. I'm going to swap out to see the data. Because I don't think the mic's disconnected yet. Because it tells me when it disconnects. When I go back into Stream Elements, I have used from 0.4, I've used about 0.8 on a 24-minute hike. So projecting, it's not quite point 0.8. At 480p, point 0.8's about 30 minutes. So I'll be able to do an hour. Point 0.8 leaves me point 0.4. An hour and 15 minutes of berry picking next month. I'll have to figure that out. You know, this thing's still going. But if I go back into the streaming software, it's going to disconnect the mic. Nope. Yep. What kind of weird that is, but it shows it's connected. But the mic tells me it's hung up. And I know it hangs up because I tested it. Now we're back. Okay, I'm putting the rig back on. In theory, I don't have chat up. I'm not bringing it up. Are you chatting? I acknowledge the text that I'm not seeing. I acknowledge the text I didn't see. I think we'll relax here for a little bit. I know the sun might be lens flaring, but hey. So I had 1.2. I might as well use it all because it's going to reset tonight at midnight. I've got 0.8 left, and that's about another 30 minutes. I don't really got 30 more minutes of hiking. This was pretty much it. I guess we can hike back out. Let's go look at. I got to go take a look at some berry patches. Oh, something went wrong here. My rig, it's loose. What happened? Let's see. It's. Oh, okay. I'm like, what's wrong with this thing? It's actually disconnected. Well, you can just enjoy this scene while I fix my MacGyver rig. There we go. It's part of it. It shouldn't come apart. Probably because I put it together with a paper clip. You MacGyver with the materials you have. Not necessarily the best materials. Of course, I could attempt. There. It's done. Straighten my hair. Okay. Oh. No, it just hung itself up. Alright, let me fix that. The mic just hung itself up. I hit the button by mistake. Okay, I don't know how long the mic's going to last anyways. No, let me come back to that. Alright, we're still streaming. There's about 30 minutes left. It might cut off suddenly because I don't know when exactly it's going to drop out. This is new locust leaves. The locust leaves on all the trees died. That freezing week, 2 weeks ago, killed it. Couple days of freezing weather, but they've all come back out. Up in here, there's some raspberry up here that occasionally come in, and I'm looking right now because they were right in here. There's some right here. Now, some of this stuff looks dark brown. No, that ones are good. Some of the really dark brown ones got frozen, but these weren't out, see? I'm looking, and these are all berries. These weren't out. And there's another one up here. This will be a nice stopping area on the way. But I probably won't spend more than 10 minutes here because I'm not going to get a lot out of this. There's one here. There's one there. There's a couple up there. It looks like it's got a good bit this year. It varies. Oh, there's a way up there. I don't know if you can see it. It's way up in the tree. I can't even reach it. I have to pull it down if I can even get in there. Wow. It does that sometimes. They can get 16 feet long. No, a dead thing. No, it's not a dead thing. This is actually alive. What are you doing over here? Go over the other way. The wind blows things around, and the deer. I got a hooked stick that I just dropped. All right. What are you doing over this way? The deer will hit things. I'm trying to hook it in over there, so discouraged from coming back this way because it can live there if it wants to live there. I think it'll stay that way now. Wait, the other hook. There. I got my stick upside down. There was a little patch over here that kind of disappeared recently. Let's go look in on it. I feel some stuff catching me. I'm not actually in my hiking pants. I just ran out in my streaming outfit. Get past these jaggers. Yeah, right over here. You can see the wild rose bush is here. Right in this area. And there were raspberries up in here. And they're gone. The raspberries and the blackberries don't like really shady areas. And the raspberries will keep growing, but you won't get a lot of raspberries, and the blackberries will just die out. And I'm looking for little shoots coming up. This tree right here is dead. You can see the bark all peeling off. And then this tree right here is alive, but it fell over. We have really wet weather. Well, maybe it's growing that way. You have really wet weather, and sometimes roots can come loose if it's really windy in the wintertime. There's a little patch over here. This is one of my trails. Here's some new ones right in here. There's a little patch right here. That's a pretty nice one right there, that briar. What they do is they grow up, and then they arc over, and they go back down and they root. And then that's how the patch grows. And this patch has actually got a good bit of growth. It might get bigger. It's also got the potential for blackberries to swamp it out. And there are some wild rose bushes around. There's some patches up the hill too. I'm looking for little ones coming up. Yeah, this area right up here. I see the wild rose bush doing well. Oh, I see a little one coming up. It's up in there. I can see it's a real white tint to the green, the new raspberry. And then in the wintertime, it turns purple. Unless they're the blonde mutation, and then they stay kind of green. They just don't stay white. I had some of those eyeballs, and I wasn't able to find them when I was out hiking a couple days ago. Or was that yesterday? Let's see. Yeah, that was yesterday morning. You got to think, when did I do that hike? I didn't film. It was Saturday. I didn't film it. I want to film some of my hikes because I can film a hike. I can film a long hike going around checking all the berry patches, and I can run it on the stream. It just won't be live. Of course, I'll be there and chat. See, these tilt up. These, if I can tilt up, these locust trees aren't that thick yet because they had to put out a new batch of leaves. I'm going to see if I'm still. Stream is still live. I think I got about 15, 20 minutes left. I don't really want it to drop out suddenly. But I want to use all the data because there's no reason to not use it. I like it that the deer keep my trails going. So if I haven't been on a trail in a while, there's still a trail there because the deer use it. There's a little patch up here, and I used to have a trail into it. It's, I think I discovered it in, did I pick it first in 2017? I think I did. And it gets, you can't do this with old ones, it gets blackberry in it. These are new raspberries. This can do really well here. I got to come and get the blackberries that are growing up through it. See this? When it's thick like this is like probably a third year of the root, maybe a fourth, I'm not sure, because When I spotted it, it already had thick ones. But that's the stuff that gets 6, 7, 8 feet long and just has berry pods like this where, gee, that's maybe 15 berries in one pod. That's a whole bunch, and there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 big pods like that per thing, and then a bunch of little pods. And you figure there's probably 300 berries right here, maybe a little bit more or less. Just a rough guesstimate, just on these few canes, like 5 or 6 canes. And then you get a patch of like whole groups of these. There's a lot of berries out here. I first came up here when I came back in 2015. I came up through the thick trees because this hillside's almost impassable. And I'm wondering, I got a trail that I made, and I'm wondering if it's open because I don't have my nippers, and I'm not in my hiking clothes. I don't want to go through any of the thick stuff. And it's been a couple of weeks since I went over there. But this was all thick sumac trees, and I think about the only thing left is these locust trees. Going that way, up the hill there, you can't see them now. It was just a solid thing of sumac trees, and they all died in the last 2 winters, leaving all these locust trees. In some places, the sumacs will come back. Other places, they won't. The nice thing about live streaming this is I can just download the video and then upload it to YouTube. Now there's the sunset. I don't know how much of it you can see, but it's right on the horizon. So 8:30, 8:34 or so. My watch might not be right on. I haven't synchronized it lately. It's a mechanical watch. It doesn't automatically update itself. I got to check it. But the batteries don't wear out, and it's not subject to EMP. Not that that's ever going to be a concern, but if it is, my watch will work. I'll know what time it is. I don't think it has a date on it, though. Power gauge, chronometer. Of course, if there's an EMP, we're not going to have to worry about dates too much. I don't think that'll happen. We are a pretentious people, the human race, and we imagine all these mighty things about ourselves. We think that we're in control of this, and I like coming out here because it reminds me that I might control a good bit in the garden, but I'm not in control of this. But I can come out and enjoy it. It does its own thing for the most part. If you don't hike, I highly recommend it. That's sunset. Let me see. I got a clear. Wow, look at that. I don't know what it looks like to the camera, but it's beautiful. It's just like an edge. It just went over the horizon of that hill. It's so beautiful out here. Now it's going to start getting too dark for the camera. It probably already looks dim back here. It'll adjust a little bit. I got another spot over here we'll bop over to. I discovered it was the third patch I discovered in 2016 before I picked. And it's just almost completely gone. There's just like a little stub left. I always come by here. It's kind of nostalgic already. There weren't many berries there last year. There was some in 2018 up the hill a little bit. And its area's changed. It looks a bit different. I like these big trees. I think it's an ash tree, but I'm not sure. I used to know these things really well. And there's some walnut trees back here. There's some oak trees. There's maple trees here and there. There don't seem to be as many maple trees back here as there used to be. And I'm not on a trail right now. I'm walking across a bunch of sticks. Normally my hiking is pretty quiet. Sort of a trail. What's really interesting this year is there's like this stuff everywhere, green carpet. I don't remember it being like this last year. And now I'm looking for my little spot because it changed a lot. This is the tree I went around. It's up here. You turn here and you go up this way, and there was a big hump of blackberry patch right here, which is gone. And right in here, right in this area, there were roots going across. There was raspberry. There's a little bit left right here. And now I'm not quite seeing it. It's hiding in here. This is it. There's a little bit left. There's a little bit over there and a little bit over there. And there's actually some up the hill. There's actually some berries, but not much. Wow, this like little carpet thing. And this is a deer trail. I come over here just to check this out, but there was a huge hump of blackberry here that was kind of separated by a little distance, and there was some down the hill too, some raspberry. And it's all just different. Couple of years. There's some over there to pick. I want to go back down and look at all of this. It can look so different. There's about 4 different appearances: summer, fall, winter, spring, and then there's some subseasons. Between spring and summer is not too noticeable. This stuff will kind of cut back a little bit, and that stuff will get bigger. Between summer and fall has got a noticeable change because this thick stuff down the hill starts to die out. Winter has got like a muddy gray-brown mush and snow. So it's really like 5 major appearances and a couple of subseasons. But early spring, coming out of winter, there's just a fine green haze. And now it's just like green carpet everywhere. It's really interesting because this fine stuff down here, all over that you see, this wasn't here last year. It wasn't like this. Maybe these seeds blew in. There's a little pit right here. Maybe these seeds blew in or it started to grow. I've never noticed it. And 2017, 2018, I was out here a lot. Since I started my live streaming career here without the theater, I haven't been out here as much. And if it works out well, I think next summer I'm going to get a better data plan so I can stream more out here. Because something tells me this is going to be kind of popular. Amidst all my video game playing, my gardening, outside streaming, I think the hiking is going to be kind of popular. Because this isn't something that everybody gets to do. And I do a lot of it. A good bit. I know 2017 I was going on 6 and 7 hour berry picking hikes. I was really pushing it. And then life changed a little bit last year and I cut back. 2019 I cut back to just 5 hour hikes. Here's a new raspberry right here. It kind of has a red tinge to it. I don't know if you can see that in this light. There's a little patch down across here. We're going this way though. I'm starting to head back. I don't mind the dark, but I'm not going to film in it. And if you get stuck in the trail, of course we're an hour away from me not being able to see. But sometimes when I'm stuck, branch caught me. sometimes when the moon's really bright, I'll go on some of those trails over by the house because I can see good enough, and they're pretty open between me and the deer, because whenever I come out, I go on those trails first. I think I might be just about out of data, and I'm just about out of light. I'm going to unhook here and see. What I'm going to do is go to data. I'm going to leave the thing up. Data usage. 1.78 gigabyte. What? 0.22 gigabyte left. What I'm going to do, I think it's still streaming. And the mic doesn't disconnect until I bring Stream Elements back, so I'm just going to leave it minimized. I think it's still active. We'll go down the hill. I know it's getting a little dim. Sunset now. It's going to start cooling off, too. Last night was kind of chilly after summer weather, basically. I think it got down in the upper 50s. But the warm weather will be back in force. It'll be back strong in a little bit. We'll just walk down the hill here. These things right here, this is a May apple. They come out at the end of April. I'll look around. I don't think they have their fruit on them yet. I'm not sure if it's edible. It's kind of cool. It's like a little green apple, about an inch and a half across. It'd be curious to watch this video and see how the mic works, because this is the first time I've actually used this mic out here. I have another mic. It's wired. It works pretty good. But I want to see what this one sounds like. I think we'll just, this is the path back that we came in, is right there. But I think we'll go all the way down the hill. This is a cool little area down here. There's some patches down at the bottom that I picked. Let's see, 0.8 is a half hour. So 0.2 is about 7 minutes. I think down here at the bottom, we'll go over to this one patch, and that'll be a good place to conclude this stream. I'll be on later. I want to play some Terraria. I got to bring my game system up and find out if the clobber that happened with the filtering software on the mic and the camera has cleared itself up by, that's a big vine, shutting the machine down and turning it back on. I got to set everything back up, of course. Might be worth it to work on a script to launch all that stuff. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Tomorrow morning I have a task. All this stuff that puts stickle burrs all over the place is growing here. That's a deer path going that way. All these things are getting all over me. Oh, there's sticky burr already. They've grown in this. Oh, not on these pins. I might have to get... Oh, I'm losing the Bluetooth mic. It's complaining, so this is a good time to end the stream. We'll boop over here on this trail. I got a berry patch over here, and I'll undo the camera rig one last time. Now, here's some of the... Let me undo this. We can look at these flowers. A warning message. It's going to drop out, so I'm going to grab Stream Elements. Yep, I lost the Bluetooth mic. Here are some Now I know I'm pointing at the raspberry blossoms. I don't know if it's focusing on them. All right. Get my... I think I'm just about out of stream anyways. Well, I'm your host with Channel 6. This was Hiking. I'll be seeing you back on later to play Terraria.